Any questions so far?
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
So, you said before that the market is rallying like over 50, or there is a risk over 150.
Yep.
Extreme example, okay, we saw COVID, we had an extreme rally, an extreme rebound basically after the COVID. The number there could be like 300, whatever.
Absolutely.
If you take as a consideration that it's going to be at risk over 150, you don't really know when the market is going for a correction or something. If you take a strategy of like selling or shorting or whatever, do you have like a safety guard, some kind? Because you don't know how long it's going.
Absolutely. That's a very, yeah, all right. That's an excellent question. So the question is, okay, if it goes overbought, how do we know when it starts climbing from there? There are ways of trying to figure this out, but as an aside, I will say something else and then come back to it. By nature, and I would highly suggest you become trend followers. So if a market is, like you mentioned, going up, try to buy the market. Now, if it comes to a risk level, that's not a license to sell short, but rather to tighten up your stops or avoid going long. So that's how I use, so I'm switching from technical to trading strategy. Now, coming back to your question, how do we know? Well, there are techniques you can use. For example, one is the signal line. So if it goes up and continues going up 250, 300, and then it turns and it crosses the signal line, that's an assumption that the momentum has changed. So you can use that. But that's not a license to short. I generally do not like to short uptrending markets or try to buy. I mean, I've done it, I'm still sometimes doing it, but there have to be very, very fundamental reasons behind that. So that's, I don't know if that covers your question.
It does.
All right. So in general, try not to, and I'll show you why it is not good to try to pick tops and bottoms, because I don't think that's a sporting, that's a sporting event. It's not a strategy. All right. So when the market, for example, it's an uptrend, okay? Say it registers here a MACD of say 250. What usually, this is how, an oversimplification, but a general pattern of how markets stop. What they usually have is something like this. It may oscillate, it may this. So supposing you pick the top here. If someone asked me, would you like to know the exact price when the S&P 500 or any kind of market would top out? How many would like that information? One. All right. Personally, I would not like it. I'll tell you why. Because if I had someone who could, in theory, provide me with this information, I would ask them for something else instead. And what I would ask them for is the second rally. Because once markets stop, usually there's some kind of a chopping motion. It takes time to trend. This is the tops that I would like. The subsequent rallies. So I'm not interested in tops or bottoms, but what I'm interested is in the second or third, because from here to here, the bulls are in control. Now there is a change in control, and it takes time and it takes effort for the longs to unload their positions and for the shorts into weak hands. And once it changes leadership and changes trend, then the shorts are in position. So what you will notice is that the reactions to the trend are shorter and the primary trend is bigger. Short, big, short, big. So this is that's why in an uptrend, I try to find pullbacks, because I want to be getting advantage of this and this and this. Well, in downtrends, this and this. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. So that's coming back to your question. So even if the MACD or any other type of indicator managed to show you the top, it's not preferable that you follow that. Keep it as an indication that's why I call it a risk level. It shows you a risk. It's not a topping. That's why I refrain from calling it a top. Keep it on, and once it starts changing in trend, then you can say, okay, I have momentum saying that what's happening may be for real.